for another weekend of bushcraft. We're doing some cooking, so we've got to finish off the wood store, and obviously some late night animal hunting as well. So it's a nice sunny day. It's about 2 o'clock. Yeah, it seems like the summer has continued for another little spurt. We're like into like the 20th, I think, 21st of September, and we've still got loads of sunshine, which is really nice. I think the lowest temperature tonight will be about 10-12 degrees. Absolute piece of cake. So I've already been here working and doing bits and bobs. So firstly, if you watched the previous video, you'll know that I redid this table. So I've made it straight and solid. And I was hunting around. I managed to find some of these tiles. I've only got 2, but I kind of think maybe this would be a good sort of food prep surface. So I might cement this one on here. So I'm just thinking, like when we're cooking barbecues, which I will be doing later on, we can clean this one off, wash it with some water, and we can pop. This could be like a plate. Because at the minute everything's just gritty. You're going to get bushcraft seasoning on everything. So I've also refilled the bird seeder. So we've got the bird seed, this one, and we've actually got like these are suet balls. It's basically like I don't know, animal fat mixed with like muesli, I don't know, and seeds and also some other stuff. But it's really good for the birds. It's coming that time of year where you want to start putting bird feeders out. You don't want to be feeding the birds in the summer because they've got an abundance of stuff to eat. In the winter, you do want to support the birds. That's a good time. Also, the log store. Right, so if you saw the last episode, I think it was raining from what I can remember. I built this little wall and I've got this piece. It's like a big old piece of signage. We're going to put this on top. Before I put it on top, because it flexes, I'm going to get 2, maybe 3 long pieces of wood. They're going to run the length of this. Then I'm going to brick them in with some smaller rocks to keep them secure. Then I'll put the lid on top, and on top of that I'll put a couple layer of more bricks with some cement, and then I'm going to cover the whole thing in soil so it all sort of fits into the landscape. That will all be done today, and at some point I'll be cooking up some chili burgers. So I'm making use of the shelves. I've got all my food up here out of the way. So we've got some snacks. I've got loads of chocolate and stuff in here. Onion for my beef burgers. Got some oil. I'm going to be drinking a lot of coffee. So I've got coffee, milk, sugar. And as you can see, the tent's already set up. Got the airbed, sleeping bag, and that should be it for tonight. Like I said, it's going to be like 10, 12, 14 degrees, somewhere like that. So I don't think I'll be getting cold tonight. So starters, we're going to need to grab some water from the river, because I'm going to need that to mix the cement, and I'm going to need to go grab my saw. I'm also going to try and cut some firewood today as well. It's a really, really good day to start prepping for that winter firewood that I'm going to need. Typically I end up doing it during the winter. We don't make a massive amount of fires up here, but it is really nice when it's pissing it down with rain and nothing's dry for months in England to have a little wood store. Some of this stuff will probably be chopped up. As long as it's under there in the wood store, it should stay dry. That's the idea. Right, let's get it. So first things first. Right, so I do have my big boy axe today. This thing is an absolute monster. So this is going to be for chopping some of the wood that I cut. The oak is pretty tough. I could probably do it with the hatchet, but I've got this big boy to use. I've got to go to the river and collect some water. So when I stand here, I'm thinking like, lots of people have already seen this, but this is the beginning of our valley then. So like 5 years ago, we started building this little flat area here, and then the boys built a shelter, and then we built some chairs, and it's slowly progressed into what you can see today. I sort of take it for granted sometimes. It's a labour of love. It's taken a long time to build, but it is aesthetically pleasing for the most part. It's all very natural. We've used a lot of rock-proof string, but other than that, right, I'm going to take my saw. This is my buck saw. I'm going to take this one down, see if I can get 3 long lengths to finish building the log store, and I also need to collect some water. Let's get it. Fill that one with this one. Yeah, that's seriously heavy. is so heavy. I'm not far to go, but it's all up. Right, sticks and logs. Logs and sticks and buckets of water. Oh, thank God that's done. That was hard work. It's a long hill. So I find out now that it's got a leak. It's all going to leak out. So I found loads and loads more bones. There must have been a dead sheep over there. And there's just tons of bones over there, really clean white bones. I might collect some of those up. So they're kind of cool, they make nice noises. I can make like a wind chime. I reckon I can make a wind chime out of sheep's bones. I'm going to try and do that later. Right, so I've got most of my tools ready. Right, so let's start lining up some of these pieces. I do need to dig a deeper hole though, that's a good point. Maybe I should start digging out some of this first, so I can use that for cement. I don't want to underpin this wall, so I'm not going to get too close, but... Okay, right. Oh, beetle. Okay, right, so the next stage is mixing cement, which we have plenty of. So basically what you can see are the gaps I need to try and fill between the spaces, and then I can pack the roof down on top of it. Right, so that is fundamentally it. So now my idea will be lay a huge load of cement here and then just start bricking around the edge. Once I've bricked around the edge, I'm just going to chuck loads of soil on top and just let plants and stuff grow on top of it. I'm hoping that 3 sticks underneath will support it. It's still a bit of a flex, but once I start putting the weight on it, it will start to spread and compact itself in. Right, so mixing cement. I might do a time lapse, but we'll see. Maybe time lapse. Right, so I did kind of fast forward some of the boring bits. So mix a load of cement, put a load of rocks all the way around the outside, and I just covered the whole thing. And a lot of the soil I want to get out here to make room for my wood pile. So I'm just kind of piling it on top. It's so much more secure now. It's got a little bit of a flex here, so I could do with putting a little bit more weight in, just to make sure the sticks are taking the weight. But it all adds to the rigidity of the wall as well, so I want to hollow this out a little bit more. And this is kind of what I imagined it to look like, with the soil on top, with the stones around it, and I'm hoping that the water will run off that back corner. That is the lowest corner over there. Left a stone in the middle just because it keeps it all down, but only time will tell now. Just got to let it rain. It should rain tonight. We have forecast rain between 9 and 11, so after it goes dark, so obviously we'll be having a fire in there at that point. Which reminds me, I need to cut some firewood next. Not necessarily put in here, but just for tonight. If Charlie were here, he'd be off collecting moss from all corners of the forest to lay on top of here, which would look really cool, but I feel like I've done enough. I'm good. Right, now it's time for coffee. Right, so this is the Primus lantern stove gas cooker all-in-one doohickey. So like many other stoves that I've had in the past, they've all been like a gas, but this one runs on the same fuel that you put in like oil lanterns. So the idea is you fill this up with the oil lantern fluid, you stick this pump in, give it 20 odd pumps. You have to heat this thing up. So what that means is that instead of just having gas come pumping out and flame comes out, you're going to get a small amount of liquid is going to come out a small hole in the middle, and you want that to happen. It will drip down onto the little cotton bud which is at the bottom and absorb it, and then it will burn through that fluid. Once that fluid is burnt, just before the flame goes out, this will be warm enough to then increase the valve and actually produce some fire. Turn the main valve. So I've turned the main valve on, and inside the middle here is a little brass piece. If I turn that, we're going to get some liquids going to come squirting out. See it squirting out there? We're going to allow that to absorb into the cotton bud. I might put just a little bit more in. Right, so we just light the sponge, which you can just see burning there, and we're going to have a lot of flame coming up here in a minute. We're going to allow that, and that's going to allow this to heat up. Oh. Now everything's been turned off again, so the main valve's been switched off. This is all off. So all we're doing now is burning the fluid that I've just squirted out into the sponge. And that basically is heating this appliance so that we can then produce some proper gas. I do love this thing. It's very, very cool. Water's nearly boiled. We're ready for a coffee. And then I'm going to go for a little wander. I need to go and find some more firewood. I might find one long pole that I could use to make a handrail that goes between this tree and the left-hand side of the shelter there. And then I need to chop some firewood for tonight. I'm going to have a nice ripping fire tonight for a couple of hours. The sun is not far from going down, so I'm going to go and take a walk around the woods and see if I can see anything interesting and throw an axe. I do need to get some more firewood. I've got the big piece of oak up there, and I've got the buck saw, so I will be chopping up quite a lot. Get the big axe out, but let's go and explore this woodland for a bit. It's gorgeous places. I think I've just found like a little tunnel. Well, found another hole. I just let you go that far. There's a little wall here. Oh wow, would you look at that? Some big rocks over there too. Let's go and check that out. Wow. I think I can see some plastic containers over here. Yeah, there are. Just to make a good seat. That's coming back to me because that could be a table or a chair, even if you sat it that way. So Dorchester, LP. See, something like random junk is treasure. Oh, that was a great scavenge. Saw a really great part of the wood. The river looked really nice. I've got this cool box, Huntsman. I'm going to clean it up, still some moss and stuff in it. I reckon we could tie some wood on the top of this thing, we could turn it into like a cool little table, or there's lots of options, but we've got to clean it first. Right, so it is now 6 o'clock. I've got the firewood to chop. I've just cleaned that box up. I'm going to have another cup of coffee. So I've got the Primus working in here. It works better in here, there's less wind. There we are, that's better. Right, while that's boiling, just going to go and check out the roof on this. Really stoked for this. Come out really well. Hopefully when it rains, it should rain later, like I said, it should rain later, hopefully when it rains. And we'll be able to test it and see how well it looks and works, and whether the water runs off at the right side too, which would be helpful if it does. Right. Gonna make myself another brew. I'm gonna put it all down there. Right. It's not cocaine, it's just sugar. I think it's better to use this out of the wind. It's definitely boiling a lot quicker this time. I guess. EP and Co Limited, Dorchester. Huntsman. No idea. Any idea, Huntsman? Let me know. Cold today. It's quite nice. I do hope it rains though. It is nice when it rains here. I like the sound of the tapping on the tarp. And obviously when the fire's ripping, it's going to be really nice. Okay, so coffee's nearly done. It's now time to go and cut some wood. It's 6:30. It is, I can already see it's getting dark. The sunset's just over that hill. So it's time for me to finish up. Right. I have actually already started this one and I moved it. So this one's going to be 2 seconds. Don't want it to roll all the way down the hill. Oh shit. Okay, I got it. This thing weighs about, it went in the pond, it's dripping. It rolled all the way down, I knew it was going to happen. This is like, it weighs like a kilo, or maybe a couple of kilos. It's freaking heavy, this oak is heavy. It smells so good. Just pull it down a bit further. I want to catch this before it rolls down the hill. Okay, cool. God, it just looks so lovely. You see how good that looks. Lovely grain. Beautiful. That's 5. Bit of fun before tea. That's a good little starter pile, I think. I don't even think I'm actually going to burn all of this tonight. There's a deer in the woods, just down here. Look, there he is. See it? Right, so we'll put all the tools away. Now let's start a fire in the barbecue. Pickaxe. Alright. Ooh, nice. This again. There's definitely deer moving around. I can hear them. Right. So I'm going to swing the grill on. let that heat up. I've got 2 grills to put on tonight, so I'm going to cook the onions separately in the tent. Sometimes there's just nothing better than an onion with your burger. Fire's ripping. I throw the burgers on just as soon as this flame dies down. Oh, and the onions are looking good too. It's a case of walking in and out. Burgers are nearly ready. I've seen all sorts of wildlife in here. Oh, he is, look. Right. Right. Onion time. Jesus, it's hot. Moving up to the top. Right. Beef burgers. Turn all these lights on. I haven't brought my drink up. I just want to keep eating it on a burger. Oh. Mouse out there. Just come back down to the tent just to boil up some more water. Have a nice cup of coffee. So while the water's boiling in here, I can hear there's a little mouse. I do feed him from time to time. I think he's just come back. I've made this little like kebab with bread. He's just over there. You see the slugs are trying to eat it too. I'll leave the camera here. I've finished my food. A little mouse, I can't believe that little mouse thing came out. I made this sort of like weird kebab of sausage, burger, meat and bread. And obviously the slugs love it, but it's also really good for that little mouse. I can hear the first raindrops. Right in. Well, this is it. Feet up. I'm going to sip this coffee. I'm going to go and get the hatchet. So I'm going to have to split some wood down. Rain is properly on now. Fire's just kicking up. Got the other phone out with a little bit of a film on. It's like perfect. This is exactly what I wanted for a Saturday night. Get a nice lie-in tomorrow in the tent. That's perfect. That is it. That is. I don't even know how long it was. Just finished watching The Uglies on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's fucking wicked film. And it is now 5 minutes to 11. It is bedtime. The rain stopped. It's time for me to get in the tent. Right. Time to get in the tent. It is raining. It is bedtime. Oh, right. It's morning time. Oh, so is that going? What the freak is this? Wow, bit of a gloomy day today. It's 7:30. Sun is all but up. Time for me to get working. Good morning. Right, okay. So, I think today, well, at least this morning, we're going to focus on this side of the shelter. So it's all happening on this side today. Slept pretty well, but I'm still waking up. But I'm going to need to go and cut some more wood. Had a few coffees. I'm ready to go. As I'm walking around, I'm finding so much firewood. All this is really dry. Just cut all these branches off as they stand. Okay, right. It's still really warm. It's still raining now. I can actually see the rain drips all the way back to here. It drips right underneath. Maybe I can change that. Bring it forward a bit so that it stops here. But ideally I want to put the step, say there, and I'll dig this out so it's obviously deeper. This is what I've done on the other side. You can see where it's dry and the water lands here. So I might use that one and build that step here. There's another stone here that can come out. I need to do a little bit more digging. But it's still really warm. Although it's raining, it's nice. It's not raining very hard. Okay, right, so at the moment I'm just like balancing sticks up and sort of seeing, I want to change the shape of the front door. I kind of like to have it a bit of an arch, but then I need to put a long piece across the top at the front. I think I could fold it underneath this hole. So it's just a case of like playing and moving things around and then thinking, oh, I need a longer stick or I need something thicker. I finally managed to find my little string holder. It's got a slight piece of glass obsidian, so it's perfect for once you get your length out, just cut. Perfect every time. Right. Okay. I think in a minute, once I've tied that corner out, this can come down. I'm going to have to go on another stick kind. I want to find something that's got a real bend in it. I'd like to have like a cool arc. So originally the water was landing here, so now it's landing here. So I'm going to dig this bit out and push it back and lower, and hopefully then this will start to dry up, and then I'll pull this rock over, and then the water will drip on the rock and rush off. Right, I'm taking a 5 minutes break. I'm going to put the kettle on, and then I think I'm going to go and collect those bones, and I might make a little wind chime while I'm here, sat in the shelter. Right, time to go and boil the water. The wood store's looking pretty good. The wood is staying dry. Top's looking good. This place gets a little bit slippery. I think at some point I'm going to replace all of these steps with actual stone. Because at the moment, for the last 4 years, they've been carved out of mud. They are slippery. Cool. Nice. Right, another 45 minutes has passed. It's still raining, but it's easing off a little bit. There are bones all over the place here, so I'm going to pick them all up and make something cool out of them. Okay. Bone. 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 This one's a cool looking bone. It's loads of little bones. Rib bones. Suppose I better take the skull as well. Seems only right. Yummy. Oh, right, okay, so I've done my hunting, and I think this is the best definition of a bag of bones. Look at all them there. Right, so with this I'm going to make a wind chime. I think the best way to do this, I might do it off of the biggest bone I've got, which is like, I think this is pelvis bone, and then dangle all the bones off of it. Right, on today's episode of Bushcraft with Dom, how to make a sheep bone wind chime. I've never done this, so I've got no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so I need to drill a few holes. 4 holes into the bone. I should feed the paracord through and then make the hanger. Do I want it hanging that way around, or do I want it hanging that way around? No, I'm going to hang this one here off of that one, hang another one off of that side, and then I'll have 2 jangling down. So I think I've got, hope I don't break this pelvis bone, it's very fragile. Can't put too much weight. Alright. There we go. Something like that. Like that. So do us jingle together. On the most disgusting wind chime I've ever made. Oh look, it's just got bones on it. That is a sheep bone wind chime. Made a lot of fucking disgusting things, but this is definitely on up there somewhere. Well, inadvertently earlier on when I was making this, I left this overhang. It doesn't have just like the perfect place to hang a bone wind chime. Yeah. It's fucking gross, isn't it? But there you go, that's bushcraft sometimes. Yeah, I'm gonna go home. I think that would be pretty good as a handrail. Tie it in, maybe cut it down a little bit on that side, but I could put some runs into the ground. This has come out really well. The wood stool that I made maybe a year or 2 ago, I found some corrugated steel, like roofing. It's really, really broken and it's pretty crap. I reckon it'd be the perfect size to fit the back of this. So I might get that. I can lean it up against the back and that'll sort of protect it from the rear. I think it's important to have air flowing through, but yeah, still got plenty more to cut though. Move this way, so I'm going to stick a 4-inch nail in here. Right, that is it. The site is clear. Wood store's looking good. I've got everything that might be useful stuck under there as well. Got the family of sheep. They're looking out for the wood store. And everything inside here is clear. Everything's looking good. What a 24 hours it's been. I can't wait to get home and have a wash. Right, that's it. End of another camping trip. We have loads more videos just like what you've seen on our YouTube channel. I think we've got about 300 videos, so if you like this sort of stuff, check it out. Thank you very much for sticking to the end. We're going to have a code name for people that stick to the end, because we really appreciate you guys sticking around and watching the whole video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next ones.